All right, man, peace. So this is going to be part two on the Ball family series that I'm doing in regards to the method of their madness. As we all know, the son, Lonzo Ball, was caught up in a little controversy in regards to a skirmish that the Lakers were engaged in which he decided to walk away. Of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
And welcome back. Kristine Leahy is back, and we're joined now by the founder of the Big Lead, Jason McIntyre. Let's move to Lonzo Ball, whose certainly up and down rookie campaign continued this week. He posted his second triple-double of the season in the Lakers' blowout of the Nuggets last night. But on Friday, the rookie got a talking to from his own team after walking away from a scuffle against the Suns.
Let me say this. If he was the recipient of a talking to by his teammates, then he deserved to be, and he should be receptive, because they do have to build a semi-familial bond on a team in order for it to be successful. And the thing with Lonzo is that, Lonzo is not quite shrewd enough to understand that in the world that we live in, sometimes people need gestures to feel like you're part of the collective, even if it's not sincere. Okay? As you become an adult, you understand that sincerity is not something that necessarily is genuine. Right? I know that sounds oxymoronic, but most people, they just want gestures of sincerity and not sincerity itself. They want you to appear as if you care about the skirmish, right? Basically just stand on the outside like Brooke Lopez did. The problem with Lonzo is that Lonzo he seems to be a very genuine person. He's not somebody who does things for appearances. So he does not particularly care about how he's perceived. And that's something that he's going to have to be cognizant of altering if he's going to be a professional athlete, because he is in the entertainment world. And I do believe that he gets a little bit of that from his dad, who also doesn't care how he's perceived. The difference is that Lavar has such a bombastic personality that he engages in hyperbole, where people mistake him for being somebody who's not genuine or sincere. Like, people look at Lavar and they say he can't possibly believe it. Lavar believes most of the things that he says, and when he is being bombastic, he'll normally let you know that he was just talking shit. But no, Lonzo did need a talking to in regards to this, because most of these guys in the NBA, they can't fight and don't want to fight, but they have to put forth these little skirmishes to act like they're holding down their proverbial territory.
Whitlock, what's the bigger headline? Triple-double last night or walking away from that fight?
Dude played 40 minutes in a blowout game. They stuffed his stat sheet trying to give us something to talk about.
Please remember that Whitlock is still upset that Lavar came at him about his weight. Okay? Also understand that Whitlock will always take Leahy's side because he is submissive to Kristine Leahy. Once again, brothers, and it's very, very understood by all of these so-called black men in the entertainment industry. They know that the female trumps them. So they're constantly trying to get in the good graces of most of the females that they work with, whether it's Whitlock with Kristine Leahy or Stephen A. Simp with Michelle Beadle or any other female that works on ESPN. Even though Stephen A. is the number one sports personality on that network, he understands that every female there trumps him. So,
other than him walking away from this fight. And the walking away from the fight deal is what's going to last. That was an incredibly bad look for Lonzo Ball.
Well, it wasn't a good look. I would say it was a borderline bad look, but it's not going to last that long. He's a 19-year-old. I believe he just turned 20. It's not a huge deal. He seems to have a lot on his mind. And I think that people should be sensitive to the fact that he is a rookie, and he's the most highly scrutinized rookie in the NBA since LeBron James. There's no doubt about that.
And amongst his teammates, you just can't do that. I'm definitely anti-violence. But, when your teammates get in a little scuffle like that, that's just not the way it works. There's no one else on his team that's walking cavalierly back to the bench. It's a bad look.
Yeah, it's not great. I generally, the biggest headline is clearly this. The question.
Brandon Ingram was trying to walk back to the bench, but it escalated so much that he felt like he had to turn back. Look, most of these guys, they don't want to be bothered with that dumb shit, right? Jumping into these silly fights is like, you walking down the block, with 4 or 5 other dudes, and you got one knucklehead in the crew, and if you follow behind him, everybody get locked up. Now in professional sports, there are, certain unwritten rules in regards to skirmishes. You do have to get involved, at least appear like you're getting involved.
The question the producer said is the biggest headline is that. I care about the game. I didn't watch a ton of this because I was watching football. I just saw it with the sound down. Here's the thing. Last week, I think it was Broussard was on. He said, Josh Jackson's not starting. Either is De'Aaron Fox. The downside to being a Laker is everything's a big story. This fight could have happened in a Pelicans game. I would not have seen it.
Well, the reason why it's a big story is not because he plays for the Lakers, Colin. Let's be for real. The reason why this is a big story is because of his dad. And that's the number one reason why there is so much vitriol towards Lonzo Ball. And that's the reason why a proverbial code red has been declared on him by the media. I don't even think that guys in the NBA have come at him that hard. The real reason is that his dad is an alpha male, black male. And when they see Lonzo, they see somebody who was spawned by an alpha male, black male. And that's why they want to tear him down. Because he's playing better than many rookies in the NBA right now. But people just want to harp on the quote-unquote negative. I don't understand how he could be having a bad season. It's only been like 17, 18 games in his rookie year. You can't even judge how good a player is until like his second or third season.
I think that this is because he's a Laker.
Well, no.
This is a big story because there's some other people I think we'd be talking about more who play better.
Now, as we all know, Kristine Leahy has a very, very bad history with Lavar Ball. As we all know, with feminist, liberal females, they never forget. And they're always waiting for their opportunity to say, aha. So she's going to do whatever she can to harp on the quote-unquote negative about Lonzo Ball throughout his season because she hates his dad. Okay? So with these people, they don't care about the future of this man. All they care about is trying to tear down the image that is being propagated by his dad. That being a man with a ruling class mentality. You're not going to see LeVar Ball get on TV begging the white man to give him a hug. That's not how he operates. That's not how he operates. He's not like these fake ass pro-black dudes on the internet who talk shit all day. But, they won't bust a grape in a fruit fight. That's not LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball is going to keep his mind on his family and his mind on doing whatever he can to generate revenue for his family. And that's how a man is supposed to operate when he has a ruling class mentality. If you want to revolt, then revolt. If you want to put yourself in an advantageous position, then do so. Whatever you put your mind to, you can accomplish. But when guys just come on the internet and talking all that pro-blackity black shit, knowing you ain't going to do nothing, that's not impressing anybody. So that's what this really is all about. And she's even alluding to it because she knows what the real reason is as to why Lonzo is the recipient of so many negative vibes.
No, I'm saying if Lonzo Ball played for the Pelicans, would this be a topic on this show?
Yes,
you think it would be?
Yes.
LeVar is the reason it's a topic, a big topic.
Notice how Whitlock, as he's speaking, he keeps flashing his eyes towards he raped me. Once again, he knows his place. Okay?
I think it's LeVar more than the Lakers.
100%. It just helps that it's the Lakers and that's what LeVar wanted was for him to go to this team.
Yes, and that's not what you wanted. You wanted Lonzo to not end up there because you did not want for the power of manifesting your thoughts into reality to show from LeVar Ball. You wanted his image or his vision for his son to fail so that you could say, aha. But you couldn't get satiated from that because that came to fruition. So now you have to move on and hope that his son fails in the NBA. LeVar Ball is very reminiscent of the book of Exodus in the second chapter when it tells you that the Egyptians, whatever they tried to halt the multiplication of the nation of Israel, it always failed. It's like whatever this guy does, whatever LeVar Ball does, it just keeps resonating as success because the man believes in himself so much. And that's the power of self-belief and self-validation as opposed to looking to get a fucking hug from white people all the damn time. Like a lot of fake pro-black dudes like to do. Talk shit all damn day, but you really just want a hug. You could fool yourself, but you can't fool me with that.
And I'm not actually surprised at all by what I saw from Lonzo doing that and walking away. I think you made an excellent point that the Lakers tried to pad his stats in a blowout game so that we would talk about that instead of what had happened previously.
Well, if the Lakers were trying to pad his stats by playing him, then we could say the same thing about the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder and all the other teams who play their stars, their lead guy, excessive minutes so that he can get a quote-unquote triple-double. Right? Join the club. Same thing with Houston and James Harden. We can go there with a whole bunch of guys. At the end of the day, a triple-double is a triple-double. For a point guard to get 10 rebounds, he has to be there down amongst the trees, or at least in the vicinity, or have a nose for the ball. So it is what it is.
But I've been to Laker games and I see him. He doesn't pay attention in the huddle. He stands outside of the huddle. He's very passive. You can tell he's not really talking with his teammates. He sits at the end of the bench. And I'm sorry, I get it. Like, you don't want to be in a fight. You don't want to punch. There's really no reason to do that. But you still look. You still, stay there and kind of make sure your team's okay. You don't just, and then just head to the bench.
Well, look, I'm already on record as stating that he should have at least made a gesture. You have to appease a lot of these two-dimensional idiots out here. It's clear that he had no business getting into a fight because he knew that wasn't going to escalate into a fight. And he seems to be a guy who's not going to do things just for appearances. But he should have done that anyway as the point guard for the team. All right, so he does have to take correction there. But in regards to most of her other points, they're clearly based in a lot of leftover vitriol towards his dad and what his dad told her, which is something that she knows is true but does not want to face, which is that she has to stay in her lane.
That just tells your teammates, it's all about me. I don't care about you guys or what happens. It is all about me. And I'm telling you, it is going to get old if it hasn't already for his teammates.
Well, you're a reporter, so you should speak to the teammates and find out what the overall pulse of the team is towards Lonzo Ball. In regards to what other reporters have stated and what Luke Walton has stated, they all like him a great deal. I've seen footage of him and Kyle Kuzma. They seem to be very close. In regards to her statements about him not listening in on the huddle and not paying attention, well, I think it's kind of hard to be the point guard of the team and not know the play that the coach wants to run. Sometimes a person is so much of a wonderkind and so erudite in a certain field that he does not need to appear to be nose up in the air and head deep in the huddle to understand what the coach wants. Sometimes all he needs is to hear a coach's first few words, and he knows what the coach wants from him. So, I think that certain people are nitpicking Lonzo, which I expected. They hate his dad. Why? Because his dad represents a so-called black man that they really don't like, which is a man who's not asking them for validation.
To see that, hey, we're playing better, but all the focus is on you. We're talking about you, and now we're in a little scuffle, and it's still all about you going to the bench.
I would agree with the last part, all about you, but this is a triple-double, guys. Come on.
What?
Thank you, sir.
What? We've seen the NBA. This was a fight. This was not even a skirmish. This was a dust-up,
Thank you, sir.
If you will. I mean, come on, guys. If Lonzo had jumped in, hey, break it up. What's this rich kid from Chino Hills doing, jumping in some studio gangster?
And I agree with that. I believe that was part of the sentiment. I think that Lonzo's attitude is, I'm just a rookie. How do I look trying to jump in? I'm 6'6", 180 pounds. How do I look trying to jump into the middle of this? But, there's nuance to it. He could have just, played the background. But I definitely agree with Jason McIntyre. I believe that that's what Lonzo was thinking. I need to know my place and mind my business because I'm not really built for anything. And if I get in the middle of it, somebody may try to take a cheap shot at me.
He's a real tough guy. No. Well, I think Lonzo made the good decision. He knows no
Look at he raped me's face. Let me rewind it back just a little bit.
Fights happen. Some studio gang.
Now pay attention to he raped me's face.
Gangster. He's a real tough guy. No.
Look at her face. Her face is like, how dare you disagree with me? I'm going to the boss after this segment.
Well, I think Lonzo made the good decision. He knows no fights happen in the NBA. There's arguments.
No, he's been in it for
shoving.
5 minutes.
Yeah, when was the last fight we've seen in the NBA? The Malice at the Palace?
Thank you, sir. That was the last real fight. Now, you've had some skirmishes since then, but, it ain't nothing major. But, look, Lonzo should have made a little show of it. But, when I say show of it, meaning, jump behind a teammate's back and just put your hands on his back and peek around and act like you're mildly interested. But, all that was bullshit.
Less like this doesn't happen. Referees
This
break it up.
scuffles all the
Do you
time.
want to get suspended if you're the point guard on the Lakers with the spotlight on you? I think Lonzo made the right decision to go to the bench, and the triple-double's bigger because, again, hey, he's having a bad season, no doubt about it.
I don't think he's having a bad season. I think that he's not shooting well. Right now, he's in his rookie season. His body still has to develop. He has to learn the nuances of the game. Point guard is the hardest position to play in basketball. It's going to take him time. But, I mean, look at what he's done already. He's got multiple triple-doubles. The Lakers are watchable, and he creates a great flow for their offense.
Were you looking for
LaVar?
LaVar? LaVar, I'm not backing.
In your pocket.
That's Chris Broussard. But, guys, with the triple-doubles, that's 2 already this season. He's 7th in the NBA in assists. We need to cut him some slack for the shooting. He's playing well. Again, 2 rookies starting on the Lakers, 4 new starters on the team. Like, let's ease off the fight.
I will say this. Listen, I think he's going to be fine. I mean, every NBA scout I have is like, listen, he's not going to be a bust. He's got issues. But I do think with Kristine...
He has too many skills to be a bust. Too many. He just has to work on his shooting in the offseason. And he definitely has to change his shooting motion because he has to be able to shoot off the dribble. He can't be that limited that all he can do is shoot on from the left side of the court.
With Kristine, the one thing that, listen, you have to understand is that optics matter. That Baker Mayfield game was not on TV 5 years ago.
Right.
I'm not sure if it was on regional TV 10 years ago. You're the point guard for the Lakers. We're going to watch everything you do. If you're the Cowboy quarterback, you get on Sunday night like 5 times.
Look, this is why I led this video by stating that the media and the people at large are trained to view gestures as things that are relevant and pertinent. This is why Colin said optics matter, meaning how things look, not necessarily how things are. That is what the media is concerned with. So Lonzo is going to have to take those things into consideration. You know? It's like, when you buy somebody flowers. It's just, that is a token gift most of the time. Because flowers are not going to last, but you do it as a gesture. You do it to convey a certain sentiment. Lonzo's going to have to do the same thing in regards to any subsequent dust-ups or skirmishes involving his team. He is going to have to do that. But maybe he just doesn't feel confident in his physique and also in his status in the NBA right now. And plus the scrutiny that he's under. It's just amazing to me the lack of understanding that people have for his situation, being a young man like he is, 20 years old, trying to make his way. It's not like he's an asshole. I understand that people think that his dad is an asshole, but to take it out on him just shows you how petty and silly people are. Most of these people are truly jealous. Most of them wish that that his dad, Lavar, was their dad. That's the real issue.
The Ball family, see, they like all the upside. They like all the upside. Hey, well, he's just big baller. But the downside is you can play Denver at home, walk away from that, and we're going to talk about it. So
I disagree. I don't think that the Ball family just likes the upside. I think that Lavar Ball doesn't give a shit whether it's up or down. I think that he believes that he's going to find a way to turn it into a positive. I don't think that he gives 2 shits about what you guys have to say about his family. I believe that his track record shows that he's going to take whatever anybody says, turn it on them, and convert it into something positive. Whether it's the president of the United States or his son's former high school coach.
So you don't get all the upside without the downside.
So he can't win then. He can't win.
Well,
right?
no, yes, he can. Do what he did last night and join his team Friday. We'd be like, good weekend for him.
No, he's already winning. He won when he got drafted. When the greatest point guard of all time, Magic Johnson, said, I expect you to break my records and to have your jersey hanging in the rafters, he won already. His family's already living in a multi-million-dollar mansion. His father has already led a clothing and apparel line that seems to be in the process of becoming a multi-million-dollar company. Lavar actually was going to China to open up certain stores in China when that whole issue with LiAngelo occurred. So there is certainly a method to Lavar's madness. There's no doubt about that. He is a Svengali. And for the most part, people do not understand the machinations of a Svengali until his plan has started to manifest.
For him. He could have won
That's
this.
interesting.
Yeah,
Jump in the middle of a fight.
Somebody once told me to be interesting, you have to be interested. He doesn't appear interested all the
Let's
time.
move to
Well, look, I believe that he appears very interested.
Lavar, who is now talking trash to President Trump, downplaying the president's role in helping get
Anybody who have teeth that look like that and could still smile, that's somebody who loves himself.
his son LeAngelo and 2 other UCLA basketball players released from a Chinese jail after being arrested for shoplifting. Trump, of course, didn't let the slight go unanswered, tweeting, quote, "I should have left them in jail." Cowherd, is this a bad look for Lavar to go after the president?
This is one of these questions that I can't relate to. Like, when the Kardashians started, I would be mortified if my kids were involved in some of the Kardashian social media stuff, and it makes them more popular.
Exactly. That's the point. That is what Lavar Ball understands, Colin. Okay? That's why they say that there is no such thing as bad publicity. Lavar Ball understands that very well. This is why he's been successfully able to engage in back and forth with Michael Jordan and Donald Trump. Those are 2 of the most famous men in the world. Just the fact that he's gotten them to mention his name or refer to him is great for his brand, is great for his business. Okay? People talk about the Kardashians all day, every day. Hell, I reference them oftentimes in some of my videos when it's relevant and pertinent. They take whatever energy is converted, is sent their way, and they convert it into something that they can monetize. The same thing with Lavar Ball.
I would be mortified to have the president take a shot at me on Twitter.
Well, you know what? That's why they say fortune favors the bold. I don't think that it's a bad thing to be mortified, but what you'll find about most people who have achieved great heights, especially in the entertainment world, is that they have very little shame.
I think probably for his goofy brand, he's looking for attention. Like, there's some things I don't relate to. Like, I don't get the Kardashians. I don't understand how that initial tape becomes a shopping store, becomes alleged, and it's 15 years later, they're more popular than ever. And I watch their show and I'm like, that's embarrassing.
Well, that's a whole other topic, and I don't want to digress too much into the reason for the Kardashians' popularity, but it's also based in their adherence to the principles of Hollywood, that being the worship of the god Pan and also Bacchus, as well as the mother goddess. All right, their mother is a high-level witch, and does believe in the Luciferian rituals and the Luciferian rites. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt that they have one of their main assets, Kanye West, firmly under their control. These are all things that are great for their family and for their brand. All you have to do is watch their show, and you know that they believe in spiritualism. All right, what is spiritualism? It's the ability to control a lot of the astral aspects of reality, mind control, hypnosis. A lot of the witchcraft rituals and rites. These are all things that they deal with. This is why I call them a coven. Okay, they're a witchcraft coven. And in the witchcraft circles, they have what they call the white witches, and they also have the black witches. And it's not talking about race. That's talking about what they believe their intentions are. But that's a whole other topic.
It makes them more popular. This is a generational thing where, whoosh, like, I'd be mortified for that to happen. But in the end, there's a group of people out there in America that are like, yeah, you got noticed.
Yeah, every single human on social media, basically, right? I mean, isn't...
Absolutely. For most people, there's no shame to their game. Like Jason McIntyre said, look at social media. All right? Look at YouTube. There are people who make comments just to try to get a response, no matter how inflammatory it is. Not talking about on my channel necessarily, but just overall, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, people just make wild statements just to get a response. Right? Trolling is one of the main mechanisms that people use to feel validated. I'm just going to say the wildest, nastiest thing that I can say to try to get somebody to respond.
Isn't that what it is? If you're on social media, you want to get in a fight. You want to go after Colin Cowherd or people coming after me. Your picks stink, Jason. That's what they want to do.
You have that.
Of course. And that's why I tell cats, if you don't come at me with some type of intelligence, anybody can disagree. I welcome disagreement as long as you're intelligent and you have empirical data and facts to back up what you're stating. Okay? Give me a chance to possibly learn something. When you come like an idiot, with statements that can't be substantiated because you're just acting like a hoe. And that's why I call guys like that YouTube hoes. Don't like the video, don't like the channel, but just want to complain all day in the comments. Who do they get that from? They get that from the arguments that they saw between a single mother and one of her boyfriends, arguing and going on and on and on. No, that's not going to happen with me, bro. All right? You got to find your dad. You have to learn how to resolve issues. Hey, I have no time for nonsense.
You have that much time in your life?
I don't. I care less. But for
That's my point. That's why I tell Kat, you get 2 responses. I don't got time for that. When I see somebody trying to flood my damn phone with stupid ass comments, hey, I'm gonna let them know. You get 2 responses.
But for LaVar Ball, it works, right? We would not. I mean, he's going on CNN tonight, to talk about it. He's going to reach a whole new audience, Christina. People who'd never heard of this guy
I
before.
agree, and honestly,
more
shame on
to sell.
CNN. Shame on CNN for putting this guy on. Honestly, shame on everybody who keeps putting LaVar Ball on the air because we have created this whole monster. And has he not done enough things that are just repulsive that we need to continue talking about him and giving him a platform? And hold on.
See, now Kristine Leahy is going ham. Now look at the faces of the 3 men. Look at the faces of the 3 men. Look at Jason Whitlock. Look at McIntyre. Look at the look on his face. Look at Colin Cowherd. He's looking straight ahead because he knows that she's about to nuclear detonate. Right? This is what this was all about. She wanted to get to this point where she could try to go ham on LaVar Ball because she's still upset at what he said to her because she knows that it's the truth, that she has a place and she must stay in it. See, most of these women, the reason why they're so upset is because they know that they're out of pocket, they're out of place, and they're always trying to infringe upon men. When an alpha male stands up for himself, they don't know how to handle it. And that is what LaVar Ball and Donald Trump have in common. Whether you like them or not, they're both alpha males and they will not tolerate bullshit. All right? Or what they perceive to be bullshit.
His own son, whether it was written for him or not, thanked the president, right or wrong, whatever he did, for doing that. LaVar can just say, okay, thanks, that was helpful. His son did risk 10 years in jail. And when he said, LaVar, I'm from LA, I've seen things so much worse than stealing a pair of sunglasses, you're diminishing everything that just happened. First of all, it wasn't just 1 store, it was 3. It was in China. The coach had to go spend time in jail for these kids. The president had to get involved. Your kid is now suspended. So he's sending the message now that, it's not that big of a deal. It was just robbing 3 stores. Not a big deal at all.
Look, let me say this, and I'm on record as stating that what LiAngelo Ball did was extremely stupid. And that if he got expelled, I wouldn't feel sorry for him at all. But let me say this about LaVar Ball's sentiment. Do I believe that he should have just acknowledged what Trump did? I believe that he should have done so, but in a shrewd way. I believe that he should have just said, and I've already covered this. I believe that he should have just said, I want to thank everybody who was sincerely involved. If they would have asked him, do you want to thank the president? I want to thank everyone who was sincerely involved. Have a good day. But because LaVar Ball doesn't believe in any form of subterfuge, he's just going to speak totally what his mind is. But let me also say this. The president is a servant of America. At least that is what the official description of his office is. So LaVar Ball should not have to thank him per se for providing a service. It is his job to serve the American people. But it's just interesting that when it comes to LaVar Ball and Donald Trump, the people who claim to be so anti-Donald Trump all of a sudden want to attack LaVar Ball. So that once again shows you so-called black men on that totem pole. You are underneath everyone, even a person who they claim, who they've tried to bill in mainstream media as a flagrant racist.
And what he's continuing to say is, it is all about me. It is means to an end. We will do whatever we need to do, put out whatever bad message we need to put out, as long as we get the publicity, as long as my kid gets to the Lakers, as long as LiAngelo is in the news. That's all it is.
LaVar Ball has yet to put out any bad publicity at all. He hasn't put out any bad publicity at all. The only thing he's done is be who he actually is. You can like him or you can dislike him. But he hasn't come out there and he has not promoted violence. He has not promoted drug dealing. He has not promoted alcohol. He has not promoted domestic violence. From what we've seen, he's not only a great father, but a phenomenal husband. Okay? Which is something that you wish that you could find.
LaVar is meant for the hip-hop rap world. his ethics, his integrity, everything would fit in perfectly in the hip hop rap world.
Well, no, actually, I think that you're more for the hip hop rap world, right? Which the hip hop rap world is about what? Lasciviousness, right? You claim to love to run to strip clubs and, to gamble in Las Vegas every weekend. You're clearly a glutton, right? You're more for the hip hop rap world than Lavar Ball, who's a man who's been married for 20 plus years and has 3 sons and has his own businesses. So I don't really see that connection there.
Sports is supposed to be about some level of integrity, some level of being a role model, values, things like that. And Kristine hit on the point that really, him going to Trump, I could care less. Him saying this was nothing and that I've seen so much worse. Who cares? My kid shoplifted.
Shows us who he really is, though.
It blows my.
What it shows us is that he's going to have his sons back at all costs. We all know parents who will say certain things to try to douse the flame in public, but in private, who knows what he told him? I'm sure that he told him something far more stern in private. What I see from Lavar Ball is a phenomenally loyal person. He's extremely loyal, which is a trait that comes very few and far between on this planet.
It blows my mind because all I think about is not dirtying up my parents' name. And my dad was big on that. Don't make me look like a fool. My mother's don't. And so I don't know what he's instilling in his kids. Just as a parent, anything that would dirty up the Ball name, the Whitlock name, the Cowherd name, or whatever that your kids do, that would mortify me. That's why I said.
Or just be a decent person and take accountability for yourself. But all they're doing, it doesn't matter. They will wreck anything in their path as long as it benefits them. And eventually, it's going to bite them in the butt.
Now, did you see what she did there? She took her vendetta from Lavar Ball all the way to their family. Now, from what we understand so far, none of their family have been involved in any criminality other than LeAngelo. And LeAngelo allegedly is a 4.0 grade point average student. So what really is she talking about them? Have they been involved in any form of skullduggery or criminality other than this current event? No, they have not. So this is a personal vendetta that this female has. And once again, it comes from the fact that she was put in place by an alpha male.
I agree.
All right, coming up.
But anyway, I'm sure that this is not going to be the last of this situation. Lavar Ball may eventually have to check her again, or Lonzo, or someone. But we're in the current quote-unquote climate right now due to media social engineering, where these females are going to be even more emboldened. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Peace.